Hello guys, I am back to try something and I thought you might want to go along with me and see if it works. I have not, or I did not just come up with this idea out of the blue. I just kind of loved this folder, and I found it last year at, oh, I don't know, it was in a pile of something at a vintage shop, and I thought that looks cool. That would look cool for fall. So I've cut out, all I've done is glue the flap over on the envelope and added a very thin layer of padding to the other side. Just put a little bit of glue on there, and then now I kind of just decided out of the blue I wanted to put some decoupage on this side so that it doesn't get filthy. Okay, so we'll see what happens. I may regret putting the decoupage on here, but that's okay. I know that decoupage has to be completely dry now before we can move forward. But that's all right. I'm just kind of starting at the middle and working my way out. I like sealing stuff with decoupage. I think it makes like a good sealer. So anyway, this is the same day as the day I did the haul. And I also finished a custom order. So I'm kind of on a row. I got a lot of my little golden books all shown on that last video that, you know, I showed you what I had to work with this year. And if you for sure missed out on a certain book last year and you want that book, you better grab it and do it as a custom order. Unless you're going to make your own. I'm not selling just the books. They're for me to sell. They're there for you to decide if you want to get a custom book made. They're not easy to get hold of at Christmas time. So I hope I'm as lucky next year as I was this year. Everywhere I went, that was what I looked for, was a little golden book. For Christmas, I've got a bunch, but not Christmas. I can't believe that I have so many little golden books, and there was a time I was just getting rid of them. I'm sure you guys have felt the same way. I found a really cute one the other day, which was Thumbelina. Thumbelina, do you guys remember that story? I don't know if this is going to wrinkle this folder or not. It's like one of those gold folders that we make our books out of. But we don't usually put, can you guys still see? Okay, we don't usually put decoupage on them. But I'm just thinking, why not? I love the way it feels on paper. and it will keep it cleaner. It's not a lot of decoupage. It's just a little. I'm getting fuzzies in here. Let me get those out before they stick down. It's coming off the cotton, I'm sure. Now, it's going to look a little wrinkled right now because it is wet. And I'm trying to keep the line straight as I can. Okay, now, when this is done, or I'm gonna dry it with the dryer, but when it's done, we're gonna put fabric around it. Yes, this is an interesting project. I almost didn't do it because it's so close to my surgery, but I have been thinking about doing this since last year, and yeah, I just thought it might turn out cool, and it may be a big flop. We'll find out, right? Okay. So there we go. It is definitely on there, and now we're going to have to let it dry. Let me close my Mod Podge. Got a new piece of, well, it's not new. but a cleaner piece to put on this new bottle. This is a new, I added some, well, my old bottle just seemed so thick the last time I used it. I added some water to it, and then it was too thin. So go figure. You never know what to do, right? So we've got the cotton on the other side, and what I want to do, I'm going to show you the fabric. This is going to be the fabric that we put around the edges, okay? And I have my reasons for that fabric, but I wanted to show that to you. I'm going to get a wipey real quick and wipe up anything that's on the mat underneath so it doesn't stick on the other side. You know, we don't want it to be all stuck down when we're done here. I'm just really just going after the big stuff here. And then we're going to dry it. Okay, let's move that over and get this right here. I don't care if it gets wet. That's not going to hurt anything. That's just the padding on the other side. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now let's get the dryer out and move the water so I don't spill it. And my cord only goes so far, so please be patient. This could take a minute. If you want to fast forward past this portion, please do. Okay, I got a little piece of fuzz right there. If there's any little fuzz in it, it's going to stay because, you know, it's not going to take it that long to dry. We may decide that it needs a second coat. We'll just see. I'm going to move it around as we do it here. It's already feeling dry on this side on the left. I don't want it to be heavy with decoupage. I just want it to have like a little seal on it. I was done doing my fall, and I've done one Christmas, and I decided, oh, I'm just going to do this real quick while I have everything out. And that's what we're going to do. If you feel of it, you really can't tell that it has the decoupage on it. It's just still a little sticky. So give me just a minute. This is my last full day to get to craft before my surgery. I have appointments every day this week. So my schedule is going to be kind of weird. I've got doctors and other pre-ops, and I take the dog to the groomer. Got to get my hair colored and trimmed because it really needs it. You get a clean, fresh pedicure and nails done. So yeah, I think this is dry enough that we could go ahead and put I'm making sure there's no sticky on here. Let me wipe over that real quick and just make sure. Because we're going to put the fabric on here, and you know what, I don't even think we need this, so I'll set it to the side and let it dry while we're working on putting the cover on. And after we get the cover on, all we have to do is simply stitch. And I'm just going to use regular brown, even though this has a different color. That's what I'm still going to do. Now, I'm not pressing this. Don't freak out. It will be fine. I promise. Okay, so I had already kind of folded it to see if it would even look good. So I don't have much to do as far as that goes. I've got it pretty much down. I've got the fold is kind of creased already, so all we have to do is just get it back on there. This just shows you, yeah, this is going to be able, see, it gives it a little bit of padding. This is going to work as a journal. Now, it is going to be a big journal, but it's more like a, I'm going to do it more like a, you know, I'm making it for someone, and I think they would like to have it as like a, something to work from, maybe. So, I'm going to flip this around here. Don't ask me why. I thought I needed to. And I'm going to start putting down my paper clips. Now, this is how I do if I'm going to have an open side. I just put my paper clips down there, and don't worry one little bit. You want to make sure everything's snug. And so when you stitch, you get the best you can. Okay. Going to fold that corner over like a package. Let me see if you can see. Yeah. You're going to fold this over right here. You're going to fold it in like a package. Fold over like that, like you were wrapping a Christmas gift or something. And then you're going to fold it nice and neat. You want your corners to look nice and neat. Because, you know, you don't want it to be all crooked and not as lovely as it could be. I think I'm going to do the corner right here and put, well, let me lay that there. See, it's kind of one of those things. You kind of have to do a lot of moving. And this is why I wanted to clip it so we wouldn't have to. What I do on these corners after I fold them in like this is I take a small paper clip and I just clip them in to hold that corner in place. And when we get to it, then we can just stitch right around it. So I'm going to come over here and boy, I'm glad I went ahead and folded that down. It's taken us a whole lot less time in our video to do that. Yeah, and you just keep going. It took me longer to do this whenever I was doing it originally, because I was creasing the edges, and if you decide you want to press the inside, you can do that. Definitely can do that if that sort of thing bugs you. But really, in a junk journaling, that's kind of another thing to look junky, right? And I kind of like that look a little bit. I didn't when I first started, but now it's grown on me. Now you have to pull on these corners and really make sure that you're getting them in where they need to be, because, you know, I don't want it to pucker right there. Okay. But it's wanting to. So let me move it. I'm trying to get it at an angle I can do it without it giving me grief. And then fold it over. Because, you know, this is going to show, so you want this portion to look like you knew what you were doing. Whether you did or not, right? Okay. I'm going to have to do some of this part first. and then I'll go back and do that edge. Now I'm pulling this up pretty tight so we don't have issues with it being loose. Now, let's try this one more time. I know it's hard for you to see because my hands are in the way, but you'll get to see it as soon as I'm done. You just fold the side in like you're going to do a package. And now, this is not wanting to... This corner is wanting to not do what it's supposed to do. So, I'm wondering if we don't have it, if we have it pulled over too far, or maybe not far enough. I'll go around and tighten it as I go here. If I see that it looks loose somewhere, I don't care if it has a bigger band at the top compared to the bottom. That doesn't bother me. So I'm thinking if I tighten this a little tighter, maybe, just maybe, that end will do better because it acts like it has some extra fabric. This side is doing great. It went down without any problems. Yeah, there we go. Now let's see if this side will cooperate a little better. Now we're going to fold it in, like I said. Going to pull it over here. I think I'm going to go ahead and put a pin here to kind of hold it. And then we're going to pull this up. Make sure it's straight here and then fold it over. And fold it down. It's easier said than done. The funny thing is I had absolutely no trouble doing this originally. But, you know, sometimes things work out different. So we're folding it in, and then we're going to fold it down, and then fold it over. Better. It's better. It's still got to be pulled up into this corner a little better. But that's all right. That's better. Starting to worry there for a minute that I wasn't going to be able to get it. Excuse me. I just slurpeed on my drink. I'm drinking an icy. A Dr. Pepper icy. You ever just get a craving for a Dr. Pepper icy? Well, I do. And I have to be careful because they're not super healthy. Okay, now I'm going to get this end pulled up tight while we're doing it. That way the other end and everything should come into place. So I want to pull this as tight as I can. Make sure we don't have anything slacking in the back of the book. And the same here. But I think before I do that one, I want to come in and do this top one, because I don't want it to slack either. So, I hope I'm not all over the place and you can't see me, guys. I'm sorry if I am. You know, what's really funny right now is this was all the clips I used and I just ran out. Nope, there's a few more. In other words, I'm more heavy on the clips this time. They're not really clips. They're paper clips. Okay, now let's do this side here real quick. On this corner, we're going to tuck that under. Remember, we're going to pull from this side and get this up as best we can. And this thing is, that one paper clip is not strong enough to hold anything. So I'm going to put that little one there. And then this. Looks like we're going to have better luck this time. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Okay, now fold this down and fold it over. Down and over. Nope, I got to trim that little fuzzy hair off. String. Looks like a little fuzzy hair. Okay. Kind of got excited working on that one Christmas journal. It was different than what I do with little golden books, but I do plan on doing some freestanding books like I did last year if I have time. If not, it will just be little golden books and traveler's notebooks. Now, I forgot to tell you guys that in the last video. You can order traveler's notebooks. They're going to be $58. And because I'm going to put a little bit more into them than I would just an ordinary traveler's notebook. I'm going to scream here in a second if this thing doesn't cooperate. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Lost my little clip. I'm going to grab a couple more clips here. I can find some more big ones. I've about worn them out. Okay. Now let's get this corner. And it better behave. Behave, behave, behave. Okay, so straight out, corner tucked, fold over. I hope my head is not in this, in your face. I'm sorry if it is. Okay, get in there. Okay. Looks like the corner looks good, but I hope the rest of it's going to be tight enough. You know, sometimes when you stitch with fabric and you pull it weird directions, you don't always get the perfect. There we go. Just want to make sure. And as I go, I'm going to try to pull fabric as I go so we don't have trouble with that. So here we go. Let's get this pulled over. Let's see what this side's looking on. It's looking fine. It should be fine. I might end up, once I know this this decoupage is really dry super good, then I just might press it. I don't know that for sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, let me put a pin here. All right. Now we're at that last corner and everything has to work. Come straight down. Am I doing it the right way? Let me see how I folded it last time. Maybe I did like this and then folded it in like that. It's really hard for you to see because it's hard for me to see. Okay, so which way did I do that? Let's see. Let's go this way. Okay. But I'm thinking I did it like that. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's how it was. I'm not sure. I'm sure you guys know when I say sometimes when you fold corners and so forth in, you get a little slack in your fabric. I don't know why it wants to do that, but I can see where this fabric might do that simply because it is already kind of slacking in some places. This is just like a cotton polyester. It's not polyester, cotton fabric. And so yeah, it has, let's see, how did I do this? This corner is still not cooperating. I think I'm going to turn it this way and see what happens. It doesn't want to make a nice corner for me this time, but it did last time. So we'll just see what happens. Get under there. Get under there. There we go. Whew. Don't let that sucker loose. Don't want it to change its mind at the last minute. I was trying to get it over so it would have to stay in place. If I put 2 clips on it, right? Okay, so the only place I'm really seeing it super loose is right here. So hopefully we don't have a problem with that. Now I'm going to think about the color of thread. I have brown up here, but let me see what else I have. I'm thinking it might be better with white than brown because we don't want, this has kind of a tan color and I don't want to have to go dig out of my, I'll have to dig out of my big bin if I use something besides white. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the white. Sorry guys, I thought I was going to use brown. I'm trying to do this as fast way I can since I'm on video. Okay, now we're going to stitch. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to put my machine, I'm going to take off this that off. This was one of the colors of the Victorian book, this beautiful rose pink. It was really pretty, and you'll see it when I do the flip through after she receives her book. I like people to be surprised. Some people want to see the whole process. Some people don't. And if she, hopefully she doesn't, because I didn't do any videos except the flip through. But she'll see it and know exactly what went on. So I'm trying to change out the bobbin here. And then I'm going to get it over where you guys can see. I'm going to move it. Can you see there? I think you can. I'll make it better as we go along here. Okay, so I'm going to put my bobbin in first. I should have had this ready, and I'm so sorry that I didn't. You know how it's Sunday and things are crazy. And Sadie thinks she has to have all the attention. It's all about Sadie. What did I do with that other? Oh, great. I don't know what I did with the thing that covered up the thread. Let me put the cover on this one, and I will look for it. There it is. I'm always afraid I'm going to lose it. They give you, you know, just enough in your sewing machine. And, you know, if you lose one little thing, you're out of luck. Okay. All right. So I'm going to thread this real fast. It's super easy to thread. It's one of the things I love about this machine. I've never had a machine that threads this well. So hopefully I can see to get it, the needle threaded now. Of course, the end of the thread is all flared out. Try that again. This is a self-threading sewing machine, but you know, I'm old school. I'm old school everything. I've been trying to talk my husband into a cruise today. They're having a lot of sales on cruises for, you know, like after Christmas and stuff. For the VIP people, the people who've gone on several like we have, they do discount you. It's not anything to write home about, but it's like $400 or $500 for a balcony. Let me see if you can see. I'm going to kind of turn it a little bit. There. Now keep your fingers crossed because we're doing a straight stitch so we don't have to worry about anything crazy happening. I'm going to move this water across the room because that's another thing. Be my luck, I'd spill the water right in the middle of the whole process. Okay, so I think we'll start with a difficult side. Hopefully our clips don't just all start falling off. I think I'm going to do the one we were just working on and see if I can make it look a tiny bit better. You guys, there's so much on my desk. Everything's fallen over. So I'm just kind of moving it so I don't have to deal with it. There. Okay, so I always like to start in the back on the bottom so that I get my best possible look, you know, as far as the stitches go. Now I'm noticing on here that it wants to, there. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to get it over here and pull it back. Now, as you can see, this is going to be very interesting. Taking off my flip-flops. I can never sew with shoes on. I have to be barefooted. Or I think I do. I'll put it that way. So I'm just back stitching there. And we're going to see what happens. Hopefully everything looks well enough that it could be given as a gift. This is kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe. I don't know for sure. Okay. Come out of there. I'll probably put a variety of digital papers in this as well, just for fun. Now, let me see how that's looking. Looking good so far. Looking good so far. This is going to be fun to turn in the middle of the machine. Yeah, lots of fun. And all my pencils are sticking out and grabbing things. You know how it is. My clips are... I didn't push the clips all the way down. I'm kind of doing that now so they don't start falling off as I turn on the machine. You're better off if you can to use smaller paper clips. I think they're tighter. Okay. Now, you don't go over your clips with your machine. I'm sure you all know that, but just in case somebody doesn't, they will break your needle. So you don't want to do that. Okay. So it's not looking too bad. I'm not going to brag yet. It's too soon for me to brag. I lost a clip there, as you can see. Okay. If it's not perfect, it's okay. It's fun. So all the fabric is folded under first, and then from there you fold it over to you tuck up, your fabric under and go from there. A lot of stopping and going, which is okay. It just keeps you from going too fast and messing up. It's kind of how I look at it. I'm not always I'm not a professional seamstress or anything. I feel like I do pretty good not to really know anything about it. I did take sewing in high school. They have home ec, is what they call it. And sadly, they don't have that anymore. I'm sorry for you young people. I think that was such an awesome class. Okay. Now right here, it's wanting to pucker a little bit. See what I can do to keep that from happening. I don't know if it is not gonna cooperate or what. Okay. I have two little baby's first Christmas this year little books. So anybody that has a baby and they're gonna have their first Christmas, that little golden book is awesome for babies. Let's see. Okay, come off of there. It's wanting to yank everything off at the same time. There we go. Yeah, my stitching got over a little far there, so I'm going to try to get back over here. And I may go around it twice, just to kind of make it look like a wonky stitch. Like I've talked about before in videos. If you ever feel like it's not perfect, go over it again. And no one will ever know. Well, you will. Okay, so it feels like when you get to these corners, it's like all the fabric wants to build up in the corners, and I'm sure that's not unheard of. I'm sure it happens a lot, at least for me. If they don't meet perfect, I'm not worrying about that either. If the corners don't meet perfect, like see that was a little crooked right there. That's all right. Okay. When I do the next stitch, which is not uncommon for me to do it that way, I will Also stitch these little corners straight down, because I'm always afraid they're going to come out. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a seamstress, so I don't know if just folding it in like that, or I could just squeeze a little bit of glue down in there and, you know, make sure something's holding it in place. I think it'll look better with just a little bit of glue. Okay, come off of there. So this fabric came from Joann's. It was one of those little fabric squares, you know, they sell for $2.97 or something, or $1.97, and then they'll have big sales for 99 cents. So that was when I bought this, was when it was on sale. Okay, this corner looks perfect. Ooh, we're getting there, guys. As you can tell, my fabric is bigger on the bottom than it is on the top, but that's all right. The main thing is that it's down, right? When I had it, when I originally put it on there just to look at it, I had it on there perfect all the way around, like a 1/2 inch. And ideally, that's what I would recommend, is like a 1/2 inch. But again, this is the first time I've done this one. Hope you guys can still see. Let me peek and make sure you're able to see. I'd hate to bore you to death. Okay. Okay, here we go. Keep your fingers crossed that when we get to the very end, we have no huge amount of fabric bunched up in the corner. Which I don't think we will, but... Now, when you go around the second time, it's lots easier because naturally you don't have to worry about go. We just have a bigger, we're just going to have a bigger fold up here. And I think one end might be bigger than the other one too, but that doesn't really make, it doesn't really bug me that much. Okay, here we go. It's telling me to put the pressure foot down. Okay, now let's see where we're at here as far as meeting. Yay, I think we got there, you guys. It had a little tiny pucker at the very end, and I just stitched it in. And I'm going to show it to you, and you tell me if you think it's real obvious. Let me get my string out of the way here, so it's not sticking to everything. There it goes. All right, let me move my sewing machine over just a little bit for a minute so you guys can see. Now, which one was it? I'm trying to remember. Okay, so this would be the front. So no, that wasn't it. Let's see. Right here. See this little tiny bit of pucker right there? It's not perfect. So now, see how this is already straightening out? This is the inside, and it looks really good, if I have to say so myself. And here's the outside, and see, this is how it's going to look. That's why I didn't want to put more than that one thin coat on, because I didn't want it to crack through here. So I think it's going to be good. Now, I'm going to go back around and make this kind of a wonky stitch. I want them to look like You know, there's a reason some of it's crooked. Now, let me see if you could see before I do that. Okay. Now, we'll do that. And I think we'll be out of time after that, but we'll come back and do another video. Now, where do I want to start this time? I was thinking, I think I'm just going to put fabric tack down inside, and that so it has a neater look to it. So we're going to start here where we started before, and try not to make it look perfect. I'm going to kind of like cross the stitches over each other and stuff like that. Now, this first stitch, it wasn't too bad, so probably won't have much problems with it. But if I have a place I can cross over a little bit, I want to, don't I? Because I want it to look like, that was on purpose. Let's see, yeah, that's how I want it to look. Now here, I really want this one to come in right there and catch any extra fabric that's up above toward the file folder. I want it to look like, you know, it wasn't on purpose. But I don't want that little bit of fabric to be able to flip up. And so that's why I'm doing this part of it. So there you go. You see what I'm talking about? It picked up all this on the inside that should have had a stitch on it. And I think that works better when it comes to keeping your fabric down really well. One more side. I like to do it twice because it's rare for me to sew something like this and not make a mistake. And you know, I'm not a seamstress, like I said, and so when you least expect it, you've done a boo-boo. Or at least that's what I've noticed about myself. All right. Oh, yay, yay. Get y'all moved back. Why is this hung up? Well, I'm glad it waited to hang up after this side was done, you know? I don't know why it's doing that. I'll have to check it out. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this off. Get all of that out of the way. I'm going to push this back out of the way too for now. So I'm thinking, I'm going to go ahead and put some fabric tack in there and see if we can't get that to start gluing down. I don't want to put too much because I don't want it to look like, you know, look like it's coming through the fabric. I really need a finer tip, but now you've really got it. And of course I got it on the fabric, and you know, when you get it on the fabric, there's no turning back. Just kind of pushing it back in. That's all right. See if I can kind of use my wipey here to get it off of this portion on the outside. Usually you can't. Or at least that's my experience, that you can't. Because I'm afraid I'll stretch the fabric if I rub on it too much. So there, that's better than how it was. Now we'll go over to this corner. We'll have both bottom corners done. And let's see if we can, yep, that one's wanting to come out too, of course. But I'm just going to push it back up in there. And I'll be wearing it. But this will still keep it from gapping open down the road. I like that. I just noticed there's some polka dots on this little fabric. Most of it's on the other side, it looks like. I'm going to hold that for a second. Yeah, there's polka dots. Cute. I'm going to put some pockets on the inside here. I think that would look really cute, don't you? Okay, so we got both these bottom ones. Now let's do the top one. Right here, this one is tiny, so it's not going to take as much. So hopefully it will stay down. It's not even oozing out. I'll have to look and make sure I even got any in there. I don't think I did. Maybe just a drop. Yeah, we need more than that. We need to know for sure it's not coming out of there. Yeah, see, it's already trying to ooze out. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I don't know if anyone, I know Gail makes all kinds of things with folders. I don't know if she's done this, but you could do this with stenciling even. I think you could. I think you could, let's do this last one. We'll have this done. I think you could do it with, you know, stenciling with an acrylic paint or something that you know is not going to come off. And then seal it with a decoupage. You probably could do just about anything with that. Okay. Let that dry. And I'm thinking the pockets I want to make. I have some other, I think oranges, kind of sticking with oranges and not regular brown, but you know, the same colors is helpful when you do this. Let me see how many minutes we are out. 53. So I'm going to show you the fabric on the inside here, and you can see now this is going to be like that. That's all there is to it. Now I did glue the foam, it's not foam, what is it? Batting, the batting inside down to the envelope, so it's not going anywhere. I did not glue the fabric, but I could always run a stitch, but I really don't want to weaken the spine anymore. And so I'm not going to do that. In here, I have this cute little fox. I know it's bright, but I like him. And I've had this and haven't got to use it. And this is just a fun project, right? I don't care if he's bright. I think he's adorable. I don't remember where I got him. It was at a specialty shop. I mean, it wasn't like Joann's or any of those places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch around, hem under, and stitch around with a zigzag on this little guy and stretching, whoops, there goes the thread. I expected that to happen. And stretch him across right here and make pockets on each side. So whoever ends up with it can have fun putting pockets in. And I'm going to make it heavy enough that it's not a flimsy pocket. And then after I do that, I'll think and see what we're going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and put this pocket on, but I want you to understand I'm just stitching around all 4 sides. I'm folding the fabric, I'm cutting it straight, and then I'm going to fold the hem, this part over, and I may do it on a fold like this, and so it for sure can't go anywhere, and then zigzag through there. And I'm not taking it out to the edges. I'm only taking it to these lines, okay? Just to these lines. And I'm going to hem down the side and across here. Now, down the side and across the bottom will be a straight stitch. Across the top will be a zigzag stitch. And I may see if I can find a different color. No, I think I'm going to stick with the white because I don't want it overly noticeable. Okay. See you guys in the next video. I hope you'll come back and join me. I'm going to try to finish this little thing this week before all the action takes place. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Bye.